I'm in great shape. I'm in great shape right now.
Make sure you're not cheating. Make sure there's no cheating going on.
Oscar Valdez first words after facing first professional loss to Shakur Stevenson last night. On his verified page, Oscar Valdez, he posted a message speaking to the fans and reaching out to anybody who's concerned. Last night, Shakur Stevenson fought Oscar Valdez. It was a good fight, really a one-sided fight. Most people, you look at the different Google search results, it says ESPN 18 hours ago, Shakur Stevenson dominates Oscar Valdez. Oscar De La Hoya also tweeted and said that the fight was basically eerily reminiscent to a fighter he used to promote, Canelo Alvarez versus Floyd Mayweather. And we know that was one-sided, etc., etc. So let's find out what Valdez said. He wrote it in Spanish instead of English for his fans. And he says, "Thanks to everyone who has supported me throughout my career. There have been ups and downs, but I've always tried to give you a good show. This time we didn't win, but I did my best. I promise to come back stronger and try to put the Mexican flag on top," end quote. So these are the first words from Oscar Valdez post defeat to Shakur Stevenson. Now, there's no shame in losing to a great fighter. Shakur Stevenson, he looks like he's on his way to greatness, loads of talent. And I've talked about Shakur Stevenson, what he did right. Catch my Boxing Ego watch party, some of the other content that I've put out since the fight. Dominant stuff. Shakur came out exercising the jab. He really just had his way with Valdez, did what he wanted when he wanted, and he kind of controlled the setup. I think, you know, see, I'm a real person, you know, outside of boxing and stuff like that. I still think that Oscar Valdez, there's a lot of participation trophies when people lose in boxing, and I don't really give those. That's not my bag. I'm not here to give participation trophies. Oscar Valdez, Eddie Reynoso, etc., they kind of said what they were going to do. Valdez said he was in the best shape of his in life. Look, he's in great shape. You see this right now on the screen. And yet and still, he came up real short. Beyond that, I think one of the biggest things that makes this a bad look for Valdez is that if you look at the status of his face in this fight and his last fight, his face looked all peppered. His face, he looked like a lobster after he was getting touched by Shakur Stevenson, right? So he looked like he was getting hit with shots, defense. He just looked like the same Oscar Valdez that's there to be outboxed. And going in this fight, there were a lot of people who were picking Oscar Valdez who are now hiding and acting like Valdez, like they knew Shakur was gonna win and things like that, instead of just giving credit to Shakur Stevenson. But the bad thing, in my view, for Oscar Valdez right here and now is that his last two fights, his face was all beat up and peppered up. And this is coincidentally, it coincides with him testing positive for the phentermine. And I'm not going to play semantics. People are like, oh, it's not an anabolic steroid. First of all, if you know anything about the PED game, sometimes people take other diuretics and stuff to flush their system. So just because that's what popped up and cropped up in the test, there's guys that take harder stuff and then they use diuretics to flush it. We don't know if that's the case with Oscar Valdez particularly. We only know what was in his system, which was the phentermine. But yet and still, that's considered a controlled substance. So ever since he got busted, he had this miraculous performance where he was the underdog versus Miguel Berchelt, and then he bodied Berchelt, and it was a knockout of the year type of contender. And then after he tests positive with the phentermine, which was a bad look, they still let him fight. And both of the performances since you've been busted, he hasn't really delivered. I thought Robson Conceição definitely beat him, and Shakur Stevenson, I mean, of course he beat him. Oscar Valdez dominated, blah, blah, blah. You see all the different headlines. So whether it's a coincidence or not, it's still, to me, it's a bad look. And it's also a bad look because Shakur Stevenson said he's been chasing you since featherweight, since 2018. And now it looks like Oscar Valdez, I've made a video about this, has never faced an African-American fighter. And then the first one you fight is a gifted African-American fighter and a southpaw in Shakur Stevenson. That's just not good preparation. You got to fight different styles and diverse and have some diversity. And you come from this big gym, Canelo's right there watching you train, etc. So all things considered, it's a bad look. You fail a test, and then, in my opinion, you lost your last 2 fights since that failed test. You have Canelo, who's supposed to be coaching you, and then Shakur's like, I'm gonna beat Oscar Valdez, Eddie Reynoso, and Canelo all in one fell swoop, and he did what he said he was gonna do. Canelo looked like he was finna cry in the crowd. So I mean, I get it. Oscar Valdez, he's taking his loss and taking his L and putting the message out to the public, and he seems pretty classy. But just the timing and the ups and downs, as he calls it, in his situation, the timing doesn't look that great. It doesn't look that great that you pop dirty for a banned controlled substance. They still let you fight, and in that fight you had a bad performance, and in this fight you had a bad performance. You know what I mean? So now they say perception is a reality. Now people are going to look at it like you did avoid Shakur Stevenson, and then yesterday's result was the reason why. You failed and popped dirty, and then now your performances don't look God tier like the Miguel Berchelt. So you guys let me know if it's a coincidence or not. That's the first words from Oscar Valdez. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Subscribe if you like boxing. And I'm out. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working. Future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation.